Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bahram. I am an electrical contractor based out of Vancouver, BC. And in today's video, I want to share with you my top saving tips that can help you achieve the goals that you want to set. Let's get into the video. My tip number one, which is also very important, is that the habit of savings is more important than the amount that you want to save. A lot of people normally start off by saying things like, once I start making more, that's when I save, or the amount is so small, why do I need to save? It's not going to amount to anything big. And that's not true, because once you build a habit of setting proper saving strategies for yourself, that's the important part that you could start building on that. What I mean is, like, right now, I don't know what your income is, I don't know what your expenses are, and what your lifestyle is like, but even if you can save $10 a week, $10 a month, setting that and continuing that and sticking with it over a long period of time, of course the amount is not going to be something huge, but you build up the habit of putting money away for yourself, savings for yourself. Here in Canada, when you work, for example, before you even receive your paycheck, the work that you have done, the taxes gets taken off first. So the government gets their cut first before the money that you have worked hard for even hits your account. My rule started as the habit is more important, because that habit becomes like a tax, is my own tax for myself to make sure that I'm putting something away for my future. Even though it is a small amount, once you build that habit, you can always adjust it. You can always increase it. You can always change the frequency of how often you save, whether you do it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and whichever it may be. That's tip number one. Make sure that you make saving a habit. Tip number two is make sure to have time work in your favor, meaning start as early as possible. When it comes to savings, the amount that you save makes a difference, but also for the time that you also save will make a big difference. And the earlier that you're able to start saving, and later we could get into investing, but as you get into investing as well, earlier that you start, the less you got to put away, the less risk you got to take investment wise to get to your financial goals that you want to achieve, especially long term. Make sure you have time working in your favor, start as early as possible, and that will get you started. Tip number three is to make savings as automated as possible. What I mean by that, like your expenses, whether it could be your car payment, car insurance, phone bill, rent, or mortgage, those are automatic payments that you could set up, or you have to set up, that gets taken out of your account. So what you can do with savings is that you could have the same setup. So this is if you're going to be getting paid bi-weekly or monthly. You can also set those dates, so the day that you get your payments, or even the day after, a certain amount of money obviously will get transferred from your main checking account to that savings account or that investment account. That way it becomes automated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make a decision whether you want to save, how much you want to save. You already have that discussion or that thought process for yourself. You have put a budget in place, and you have made sure that the amount you can save is something that you can afford to put away. Obviously, you don't want to be savings and then borrowing money for your expenses. So you want to make sure you have that budget set up. But it is always very easy and very painless to have that set up. And it could also work in your favor, because even as life happens, different things come up, you're still able to meet your saving goals that you have set, because it's all automated. So that's tip number three. Tip number four is to make sure that you have separate savings accounts set up for your different goals and different purposes. So what I mean by that is, you do not want to have your, let's say, your retirement long-term savings with your short-term traveling or vacation savings. The savings accounts are for the most part free, so there's no cost of holding a savings account. So you can go to your local bank or your credit union, set that up. Those automated payments, you can even set different payments for different accounts. So what you have then, you have your long-term, let's say, retirement savings, you have your long-term kids education savings per se, and you're able to have them separate. You know exactly how much money you have within each account. So let's say you want to go for vacation, you're not tapping into your retirement savings or your education for your kids savings to go on your family vacation or personal vacation. So it's very important to take that into consideration when you want to have a savings plan set up, to have them separated. So for tip number five, which also could be asked in terms of a question, is how much should you save? How much should you put away? Now, of course, this is just playing with the numbers. If you know, let's say you need $10,000 for a family vacation, so you know that you need 10,000 and you want to go on that vacation within 1 year or 2 years, so you can break them down again, your weekly, monthly, the frequency that you want to put money away and save, so you could come up with that number. Other things that also attaches to things like your retirement and like long-term goals, you do want to sit down and go through your budgeting to make sure how much you can put away on a monthly or again the frequency basis. But when it comes to long-term savings, especially once you get into the investment, like once you build up a little bit of savings and you want to invest it, and you could also make investment, contributions and things like that also automated, which again we'll talk about in a different video. It's also good to kind of see what kind of returns we're able to get based on that as well. Every investment, depending on the type of investment and your risk tolerance, type of investment you're going to invest into, you want to make sure that you know how much you need to put away to have close to or a minimum of what you want to achieve financially. So that's also very important. So keep that in mind. So my personal experience when it comes to having a savings plan and being able to have a savings strategy in place was actually when first me and my wife got married. We both came into the relationship with a lot of debt on our personal side, and also we were using our credit cards and a lot of credits paying for our wedding, which is very stupid, and that's the way we got started. Now, after a year or so, I noticed that obviously we cannot live like that anymore. We have to make a change. If you want to see a change in our finances, we cannot continue the same way. So we sat down, we created a budget for ourselves, and then through savings and through putting money aside each pay and the frequency and all that we kind of talked about earlier, we were able to put money aside, paid our debt in full, credit cards, line of credits. I was also planning to go to school at the time, so we were also able to save that money for me to go to school without taking out any kind of student loans. And I even had extra money on top of that that we had saved, that I was able to pay off the rest of my car loan at the time, which was great. That's the power of savings. As far as I know, nobody ever complains that they have too much savings built up. It is something that you have to work towards and something that you need to plan. It doesn't happen by accident, but it is possible. Any amount that you kind of need that you want to put aside, as long as you work out the numbers, it's all a numbers game. As long as you work out the numbers and make sense for your budget, for your income, you're able to set that up. As an electrical contractor right now, because my income does fluctuate, I do not have a set amount anymore. What I do is a percentage. So based on my income, based on money that I make on a month-to-month basis through my corporation and through my personal level as well, I set a percentage of whatever I make into savings. So some months could be a lot less than others, obviously, depending on the projects that we have and the work that we do and the income that I have personally. But that is one thing that I have set up, and it works well for me right now. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. Please like and subscribe down below, and check out my other videos that I have posted on my channel as well. Comment down below for any content that you would like to see from me next. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.